Huddle with paperplusoffice.co.nz, your local office supplies specialist, now open for business.
NewtalkZB, it is 17 to 6, the Huddle this evening. Josie Pagani and Cameron Slater, good evening to you both.
Hello.
Good evening, Susan.
Now, Josie, you're going to tell me that the Tiwai Point business with the government is all like The Hobbit and Warner Brothers and the movies, and I don't get it. Explain to me why this seems to be the view from the left, because I don't understand.
Look, absolutely, Susan. I totally agree. The government should not bow down like a lapdog and use taxpayers' money to help multinational corporations get richer. But unfortunately, I'm talking about Warner Brothers and you're talking about Rio Tinto. Now, look, I agree. And the point I'm making with that, though, is that because this government has a reputation for picking winners, like they did with Warner Brothers, like they did with Sky City, whatever you think of the pros or cons of that, no wonder Rio Tinto have thought they'd give it a go. So the first...
Oh, that's not fair, Josie. They've done it in Australia. They've done it to the Australian federal government and two state governments.
Who wouldn't give it a go with Key's government? That's the thing. So the first lesson that John Key has to learn from this is that you lay out the rules, you have the same policy for everyone, you don't pick winners. No. The second thing I would say about it is that it just depresses me, Susan, the total lack of vision here. I mean, is the default position from this government to just give up on our export industries? If the price goes up on coal, whether it be aluminium, coal, timber, we're just going to give up on it. Why not have a vision which says...
What is the vision that would have... Hey, I better let Cameron get a word in before I argue with you. Can't go, Cameron.
Time's up, Josie.
Oh, come on. Let me just finish that, though, because Patrick Smelly made a really good point. He said that there's still some life in that smelter yet. I mean, it has had a lot of investment in it. So why isn't Southland a centre of excellence for design in aluminium? We're just exporting the stuff, raw products, raw bits of aluminium. Why not process it here, get the designs here? Why aren't we designing iPad frames out of aluminium?
Because we're in New Zealand in the arse end of the world is why.
Oh, well, let's just give up then.
No, we're not giving up. But here's the thing. I think Rio Tinto had a chat with their mates at Toll Holdings, and they were told, hey, go and do a deal with the finance minister in New Zealand. He'll pay you well over the mark for the value of your assets. And they thought that was going to work, but they forgot that we've had a couple of elections and Michael Cullen is long gone. Because, if it's going to be any government that's going to give away things for no gain to the country...
How can you look at yourself in the mirror and say that, Cam, knowing that this government has done dodgy deals on Warner Brothers?
He paid $1 billion for a clapped-out train set. What we've got here is John Key saying to a bunch of wide boys from Australia who are trying it on, when they've got a 13-year contract and they're only 2 years into it, they're trying it on, and good on them, because that's what you do in business. But he's obviously had a quick look at the contract. He's seen that they're between a rock and a hard place, and he said, nah, how about go away?
So we both agree, Josie and Cam, that actually the government should not be the taxpayer, should not be subsidising Rio Tinto.
Personally, philosophically, I do not agree with subsidies. If something needs a subsidy at all, be it Josie's favourite ballet competition or the NZSO or any of the other la-di-da liberal elite arts that are out there, if it needs a subsidy and it can't stand on its own 2 feet, it should have its throat cut.
Well, here's my view on subsidies, is that it's the right thing, for example, to subsidise the film industry, which is a growing industry in New Zealand, as we know. The wrong thing to do is to pick a company. So go Warner Brothers or Disney or something like that.
There's a big difference between a subsidy and a tax break. There's a huge difference.
But the point is, if you do it sector by sector rather than company by company, that's why I'm saying...
Warner came here with a deal. The unions tried to screw it, and John Key cut a deal. It was the best thing.
There's still life in aluminium. That's the thing. I mean, the reason the price has gone up...
I'm not sure about that, or Rio Tinto thing. So, look, we'll take a break there. Cameron Slater and Josie Pagani back with the Huddle in just a moment.
Susan Wood Drive. With the new ANZ, the bank that gives you more.
It is 11 to 6, the Huddle this evening. Josie Pagani and Cameron Slater. Now, Cam, do you smoke?
No, I don't.
Josie?
No, I have done, but...
No, you've given up. You've reformed.
I think we should be encouraging smoking in New Zealand.
Why?
Well, I'll tell you why, because people who smoke more than well pay their way through society.
This is Cam's great theory on, yes.
It's brilliant.
Mad libertarian theory.
No, they choose to smoke. They pay more taxes than anybody else, and then they peg out well early than most people, and they never collect their pension. It's a win-win situation for New Zealand.
So you wouldn't support the Palmerston North Council smoking ban then, Cameron?
Well, Palmerston North's a strange place anyway. They should put a big fence around it and use it to do medical experiments on people and things like that.
That's a bit tough. I do think that, I mean, how do you enforce this? And also, why not ban mullets at the same time if you're going to go into Palmerston North?
Well, that would kill all the Labor vote if they banned mullets.
Well, that's good. We've got the mullets on our side then. But apparently they banned smoking dope, didn't they? It's illegal in New Zealand. So how's that going in Palmerston North? Not very successfully, I think.
No. I kind of like the idea of banning. So I don't know. I've got to smoke a steak.
Nothing goes well for Palmerston North. It's the sole Labor electorate in the whole North Island from Manurewa to Wellington. It's a sea of blue. And
that's why you're being so rude about it.
Well, exactly.
I love this. This is the National Party's policy on how to deal with the ageing population. It's to actually kill them off with smoking.
I don't think it is. I think it's Cameron Slater's own personal brilliance. So Cameron, if I were to say Te Iki a Maui and Te Waiponamu, you would have no idea what I was speaking of, would you?
North Island and South Island.
Far more romantic than North and South Island, isn't it, Josie?
Well, yes, you see, I'm thinking if my great-grandfather was riding along with Cam's great-grandfather and
they would have shot each other.
More imaginative than our rallies. I mean, basically, my great-grandfather said to Cam's great-grandfather, that island is south of this island. What shall we call it, pray tell? And Cam's great-grandfather said, the South Island. They're brilliant.
Meaningful.
About as imaginative as
I don't have a problem with it.
You can live with it?
You know, why change it up? I mean,
you can have both, though.
I think you can have both. It's like Wanganui and whatever the other one is.
My God, that's a liberal view from you, Cam. I can't believe it. We're going to have both. It's going to be the fish of Maui and the waters of Queenstown.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still going to call it the North Island and South Island.
Have you noticed how many bridges there are that are called number 1 bridge,
Oh, I know.
number 2 bridge?
That's engineers who named them. They can only count.
Things that we should concern ourselves. We should be lobbying, though, that Australia changes its name to West Island.
Clearly, we were just too busy. Our ancestors were too busy colonising to actually name anything. Got
to go. I like the image of your ancestors together. Josie Pagani and Cameron Slater. We're going to talk sport with Murray Deakin next. It's 8 to 6.